What's good, everyone? It's Jahaan from imamusicmogul. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake Nail Tech by Harlow. So let's jump right into it. First things first, let's go and change our tempo to 150 beats per minute. We're going to start off with the main brass section of the record. So we're going to go to our library browser over here. We are going to go to Studio Horns. We're going to go to 6-piece section. And we're going to choose the Memphis Blast preset over here. Alright, so there is the main section right there. Next, what we gotta do here is just make it sound a little bit more of like a sample. So we're gonna bring in another EQ right here, and we're just gonna take off a lot of the bottom and a lot of the top end. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and bring in a chorus just to widen up this sound. So let's go ahead and bring in modulation, chorus, and we're gonna bring in a preset. Use the guitar summer right there. I'm just gonna bring this down a bit. Next in, let's go ahead and put in the bass. So we're gonna go over to our library browser over here. And first, let's create a new software instrument track. We'll go to bass and we'll bring in the muted bass. We're gonna copy down the same pattern to this over here. And we're just gonna take the bass notes over here. So let's just go ahead and take the root note of each chord here. Just like that. Then we're gonna stretch it out. Except these pretty much come out of play. It's just a straight note here. Let's go ahead and just pitch this down 1 octave. All right, so there is our bass line right over there. Next is going to create a new software instrument track and create that organ sound. I'm going to go over to our library browser once again. We'll go to, where is it here? We'll go to our vintage B3 organ, and we're going to go ahead and bring in the power chord preset. Once again, we're going to copy down the same progression from our brass sound. And we're just going to take the first chord and the second chord, and we're going to stretch that out. All right, next thing I want to do on this is just take out some of the bass on this organ here. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is gonna go ahead and layer up this organ sound to create a nice full sound. So we're gonna create a new software instrument track. I'm gonna bring in Logic's Alchemy. And we're gonna bring in an organ from Alchemy. So we're gonna go to organs over here, and we're gonna find the preset called Shimmering Release. We're gonna copy down the same pattern. So I want to create like an organ stack to make a nice full sound. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and just EQ this up a bit as well. And this is how we're going to build an organ sound similar to the one in the track. Next, let's go and create another software instrument track. We're going to go over to our vintage B3 organ once again. And we're going to go to the grand organ preset this time. We're going to copy down the same pattern. Just make room for our bass here. All right, now let's go ahead and just manipulate this sound a little bit here. Give it some movement. So essentially what we did right there is just create a nice thick organ sound. And this is what they all sound like together. So this is more of our mid-tones, our high tones, and this adds the movement to the sound. All right, next up, let's go ahead and bring in another bass that comes into the track, create a new software instrument track. And for this, we're going to bring in an instrument that we don't normally use on this channel, the ES1 synthesizer. And for this sound, we're going to go ahead and bring in a preset found under Synth Bass, Deep Bass. If you're looking for a nice, clean, just a solid bass line, this is it for you right here. And it's going to sound like this. Let me just drag this down. Actually, I'm going to copy down the same note from our muted bass here, or pattern. And we're just going to take the first note, and it's going to be like that. So it's going to sound like this. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the top end out here, just kind of shape it a little bit, focus on that low end. And that's going to layer up this bass sound here at different parts in the track. So what I'm going to do here on this bass sound, I'm just going to clean up a little bit, up to about 100, just to make sure that that deep bass sound is living in that low part, and the muted bass is living above it. See, without it, you lose that power. All right, next up, let's go and create another bass track. This sort of gets sprinkled in throughout the record. And once again, we're going to use Logic's ES1 synthesizer. And for this preset, we're going to go over to bass once again. And we're going to go over to the old school bass preset. We're going to close this out for a moment. And let's go ahead and just draw in that pattern. So you hear that pattern throughout different parts of the track. I'm just going to go ahead and mold this sound a little bit, or shape it a bit. So I'm going to bring down the cutoff. And that's really all I'm going to do. And once again, you hear that through different parts of the track. It's not always in there. So I'm just going to mute it out for now, just so we have it. And now we're going to go ahead and create a new soft instrument track, and we're going to get to the drums. So I did create a drum kit for this remake. Let's go down to the Nailtech drum kit. And let's start off with the snare. Put it on the 3 right there. And let's put in the hi-hat pattern. It's an 8th pattern. Next, let's go ahead and draw in our open hat. Next, let's go ahead and draw in our zap sound. And then in like the biggest part of the song, we have a clap that sort of layers up the snare sound. So I'm just going to quickly draw that in right here. And last but not least, let's go ahead and draw in that kick pattern. All right, next up, I'm going to go ahead, arrange this track, mix it, and add in a little bit of that ear candy that they put into this track. I don't exactly know where it goes, so I got to listen to the track again. And when we come back, I'll show you everything I did. So let's get to that. All right, so here we are with the arrangement and mix. I added in a couple of instruments as I played out the track. So for instance, over here, we get this sound right over here. It's like a little bit of a keys type of sound. It's like a little strum. Actually, right there, the kick pattern also changed as well. You get like a little roll happening. All right, what else did I add over here aside from those keys? That's pretty much it. Everything else is just a lot of mixing in place. The only thing I did add was a set of strings here at the end, and it just filled out the chorus section a bit more. All right, other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Listen to the beat that we just put together, Jack Harlow's Nail Tech. Let's go. Alright, so right there is Jack Harlow's Nail Tech, remade in Logic Pro. For those of you who use Logic, I'll go ahead and place the Logic session as a download link in the description box below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to go and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake as well. You can find that below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go and talk in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.